Well, good morning. I'm Ellen Hogan, and we're excited to welcome you to another episode of This is Region 12 Employee Spotlight series. We have Faith Foster here with us today, and so I'm going to start with an easy question.
Sure.
What is your role here, Faith?
My role is I'm an instructional coach with dual language, bilingual in the Gen Ed department, and then one of my favorite things to do also is with world languages. LOT is the acronym, but I provide trainings for world language teachers.
And I'm glad that we get to visit about that sometimes because they can hear how excited you are when you talk about that. So we're going to jump into some real questions, and that is, what does a typical day look like for you?
Oh, wow. I don't know that there is a typical day, to be honest. Maybe I'll go through a typical week. It looks like traveling to districts probably 3 times in a week, and that can range from instructional coaching, where I do OBS feedback, which is observing a class and then giving feedback to the teacher, and then also providing lesson planning support, and often giving session trainings about best practices. So that's about 3 times a week, and then maybe once a week I'll plan for those sessions, and then another day in the week I'll be trained on some type of support that I'm doing for grant work.
Busy, that's for sure. So tell us about your journey up to this point. How did you get here?
Oh my, how did I get here? How did I get to Region 12? I'll start there. I was a teacher, a bilingual teacher for many years, and like learning languages. And I remember a colleague told me, I was working on my master's degree, and she said, "There's a position open at Region 12." And I was like, "Oh, I can't do that. That's not for me, but I'll give it a shot." And I interviewed, and I actually, before I interviewed, I looked at the values, and I was like, I really align with these values. So I was hired during the pandemic and got to meet all my colleagues via Zoom, and felt like then once I got here, this is a good fit. Like, this really fits. So I like the environment, I like the work, I like the challenge, I like the variety. So that's how I'm here at Region 12.
Perfect. So what's something that you don't get to talk about very often that you're proud or passionate about?
Something I don't talk about very often. That's an interesting question. I talk a lot. So I probably, if I'm excited about something, well, I would say, I alluded to this earlier, I mentioned it a little earlier with the world languages. I'm excited about being able to offer that more consistently at Region 12. A lot of the teachers that I've worked with haven't had consistent support, and looking to align it to the standards plus something very practical. I'm excited about that, and I'm proud of it in the sense of I've seen teachers walk away happy and with something that they can implement the next day.
And you've kind of already answered this, but what makes ESC Region 12 a great place to work?
So there's a lot of things about ESC Region 12. I think most people would probably say just the relationships. I feel very supported here, and I feel like that I am challenged. And there's also a lot of autonomy, but also teamwork. So it's a good mix of pioneering things, but then supporting a team. But I would say relationships. It comes down to working with great people. I even told someone yesterday that the culture here is wonderful, and I love. I just feel supported. So, yeah.
Great. So, what's the best piece of advice you've received that you'd like to pass on to our audience?
This was actually, I received this advice before I applied. I was asking, what do you know about Region 12? And a friend she doesn't work here, she was like, I've heard great things about it, and they take really good care of their employees. I'd go for it. So I would say, don't forget that you're in a good place and that the grass is not always greener on the other side once you're here. Like, stick around if you can.
Let's switch to some rapid fire questions.
Oh, no. Okay.
What other career did you almost pursue?
I wanted to work overseas as an educator, and it was still in education, but I wanted to live overseas, actually in Asia, in China, for the rest of my life. And I decided to come back to the United States. So wanted to, be an educator overseas.
Okay. And what Which pillar of our vision do you relate to most? Innovate, empower, or educate?
I think empower. Even though I do work with educating teachers, I really want them to be empowered to do what their best is. It's going to look different than what my skill set is, so empower them and show them their potential.
Great. And what's your favorite place in our region? It could be a restaurant, a store, a park, it could be...
Favorite place in our region? Probably everyone hears me talk about this great thrift store called the Clothesline, where you can go and get a bag of clothes for like $20, and it's really nice stuff, and it's just kind of fun, and I'll share it sometimes with colleagues, so if you become my friend, I might share clothes with you.
I've been the recipient, so I appreciate it. If you could trade places with another employee for a day, who would it be?
If I could trade places with another employee for a day, oh wow. That's an interesting question. You know, I hadn't thought about this question ever, but I think I would like to see who comes through the door of Region 12. So maybe Jenna up at the front desk, or Sandy, just to see who's coming through on a daily basis and who we're serving.
That's perfect. Who would you like to interview next?
I think in a different department, I would like to interview Lorna Horstman, if possible.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.